Hey there, Hilda. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Oh, hey, Michelle. Yeah, I think the last time we saw each other was 2 years ago at the school reunion.
Well, you should know that I've seen you plenty of times since then.
Oh, really? Well, you should have said something to me. I would have loved to catch up. Does that mean that you still live here now? I thought you still lived back home.
No, I finally moved away when I learned there wasn't anyone worth marrying there. But I have noticed you walking around town clinging to someone's arm. Why didn't you tell me that you got married?
Sorry, what do you mean? I'm not following you.
Oh, come on. There's no point in playing stupid with me. I know that you're married, and I find it unacceptable.
Hold on a second. Let's set aside marriage entirely. Why would it even matter to you whether or not I was?
Oh, come on. Can you really not guess at all why I might care? You remember how much better looking I was than you in school, right? I was prom queen, and all of the boys wanted to have me back then?
Right. I guess now that you mention it, I do remember that you were quite popular back then.
No duh, I was popular, and I should have been the first one out of us to get married, but all the good boys back home didn't want anything to do with me after high school. Not only that, but it was clear that everyone there was way beneath me anyways.
Well, I guess it's good to know that you're still as confident as ever, Michelle. You certainly did have a high opinion of yourself back in high school, too, as I seem to recall.
Well, anyways, I think that I owe you an apology of sorts.
Sorry, you want to apologize to me. I'm not sure what you would even say sorry for.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for stealing your husband. In fact, I know that he picked you up from the maternity clinic, right? I guess that means that you two are having a baby soon. But I'm still not going to let you get away with getting married before. And so, that's why I stole your husband from you. So don't worry, I did reach out, just not to you.
I'm sorry, I really just have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I'll tell you. I was talking to your husband and told him that he should leave his wife and marry me instead. And that's why I want to apologize to you.
Michelle, I'm sorry, but I still just am not following you at all. What husband are you talking about?
Why are you still playing dumb? I know all about your handsome husband that you were trying to hide from me. You clearly weren't going to introduce him to me, so I had to take matters into my own hands. But don't you worry. Things went just fine for me, and now he's all mine. I'll even be sure to pay you off for our affair. So how about you just sign the divorce papers and hand them over already?
Look, Michelle, I only have a boyfriend, okay? I'm not married.
What are you talking about? Of course you have a husband! Stop trying to lie to me. You know that I've been able to steal your men from you ever since we were in school together. Just accept the fact that I've done it again. And also accept that you'll have to raise that baby of yours all by yourself.
Okay, well, I think I understand what it is that you're trying to tell me with all of this. But I'm not sure that I actually understand what any of it means. But if I have this straight, you're telling me that you've started an affair with a man who you know is married, and that you want to marry this man, and that's why you've told him to divorce his wife for you. And then you messaged me to tell me all of this because you think this man is my husband.
That's what I've been telling you this whole time.
Right. I see. Well, I don't know how else to tell you this, but I'm not pregnant?
Wait, what? What do you mean that you're not pregnant?
Not only am I not pregnant, but I'm not even married. Again, I have a boyfriend, but I don't have a husband.
Oh, come on. When are you finally going to stop with all of these lies? You just can't accept the fact that I've beaten you and that your husband chose me over you.
No, I really am telling you the truth right now. I did go to a maternity clinic with a guy. But tell me, was the guy you saw me with about 6 feet tall with a mole under his right eye?
Yes, that's exactly the guy that I saw you with. And he's your husband. He is your husband, isn't he?
Now that man is actually just the director of the maternity clinic, which is where I just so happen to work.
hold on a second. That guy is just the clinic director.
That's right. And that guy is actually married, but he's not married to me. So I really don't know how else to say this, but I think there's been a big misunderstanding here.
No, this can't be happening. How can that guy not be your husband?
Well, he's not my husband because we're not married. Because, again, I'm not married.
Well then, that means that I've won. I've been right this whole time. I was always going to get married before you. Not only that, but I'm going to get married to a doctor who owns his own practice. Oh, this is way better than I could have hoped for. I get to be married before you, and to a doctor of all people. It might not have been the way I originally planned it, but it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, I guess you really are going to get married before me, aren't you?
That's right. But at least you can find solace in the fact that you didn't get abandoned by your man.
I mean, I think that you might have more things to worry about than just floating to me.
And why is that? Because I had to have an affair before this man would have married me? Who cares about having to pay for anything when I'm going to be with a doctor? I was already planning on paying you off for the affair with who I thought was your husband. So this is nothing to me. And now, I'm going to be the happiest woman in the world and never have to work another day in my life.
Uh-huh. Well, good luck with all of that, I guess. I was actually going to quit my job at the clinic at the end of the month anyways. I was going to try and find work in another place. So, I don't think that you'll be seeing much more of me.
Oh no. Are you being serious? That really is too bad. Ha ha ha. I might have let you try and squeeze my husband for some more pay or something if you had just been a little nicer to me.
Actually, I think that this is just all the more reason to leave my job. I don't want to get involved in this any more than I already have. So again, good luck with the marriage, I guess?
Hey there, Hilda. I was just wondering how your new job's going. Have you basically settled in?
There has been a lot of paperwork since I started here, but I have to say that I prefer it to the old place. Not to mention the raise that I got for working here.
Well, there you go. Sounds like things are going well for you. Actually, kinda wanted to talk to you about something.
Is it something that we should talk about over the phone?
No, it's not that, but I do have to send you a few photos that I'd like you to look at.
Well, that's fine with me, but is everything okay?
Well, you know how we've been. Going out for about 6 months now. I thought that we should talk. I've hidden this from you for a while, but I think you should know that my parents are really rich.
Oh, really? Well, I appreciate the honesty with me.
I mean like tens of millions in assets rich. Dad and I actually work at the company that my dad manages. Take over the company after he steps down.
Wow. That's a lot of money. I was not expecting this. Although, you know what? It does explain some of the fancy brands you own and the nice watches you're always wearing.
Well, my dad always told me to always dress up, or at the very least put on a nice watch. But that's not the only thing. You see, the reason I didn't tell you any of this is because my parents are scared that a woman would take advantage of me for my family's money. So that's why I lied about who I really was to you for all this time.
I can see that now. Oh, but it's not like we bonded over material things. We just had a lot in common.
I know. And that's exactly why I know that I can trust you. You never even once asked for me to pick up a bill. You're a hard-working nurse who makes her own through the world, and I respect it a lot.
Well, thank you. That really does mean a lot from you now that I know the truth.
But anyways, I know that we also both had in our profiles that we were looking for something long-term, right?
Yes, but what makes you say that?
Well, that's one of the condos that my dad owns. Costs about $2 million, but he told me that he's willing to let us move into there.
This is, this is a lot to take in.
There's still more. Thing is, that my dad is quite sick. The doctors have only given a year, 2 at most, to live. So, basically what that means is that as his only son, I'm actually on the verge of taking over the company and all of his assets. I know this was going to happen one day, but it's never ever felt this real before. And the truth is that I need someone that I can trust with all of this, and that's why I'm saying all of this to you now.
Well, I really appreciate you talking to me about all of this. I mean, I'm shocked, but glad it's all out in the open.
Then I have one more thing to tell you, and I wouldn't be mentioning this if I really didn't think you might be the one. But the other day, my dad gave me my inheritance early. He thought it would make things easier on the taxes when it came to, well, him passing.
Right, I've heard that you get quite a bit taken out for inheritance tax.
Yeah, but if he did it this way, he wouldn't have had to pay a cent. All I have to do is pay a cool $1 million now, and I'll get all the inheritance tax-free.
I guess so. I don't really know as many details about that.
Well, the amount of money I got was in the millions, although because of the legal process, I probably won't be actually getting the money for another 6 months or so.
Wow. Well, look, Hank, I'm glad that you've told me about this, but those are numbers that I never even dreamed of having in cash.
I know, but here's what I want to ask you. Do you think I could borrow some money from you until I get my inheritance?
Wait, what? You want to borrow money from me?
Well, the thing is that until all these processes can take place, I still am just me. Besides, I'm going to need some money for the legal forms for all this. And, well, I know that you make quite a bit as a nurse, right? Please, I promise that I'll pay you back in 6 months. This is for our future.
But I don't get it. Why do you need to borrow money from me to do this? But that's just it. I don't understand something like this. I don't really understand. Can I just ask you a couple of questions first?
What more do you need to know? I've already told you everything.
Well, you're telling me that your dad is sick and only has, at most, a couple of years to live, right?
That's right. It's something that no amount of money or doctors can cure.
Okay, well, do you know the name of what it is that your dad has?
What do you mean? Why would that matter?
Well, it's just that I am a nurse, and I do know a thing or two about diseases. So I was just curious about what it is that your dad has.
Oh, right. I actually don't know the name or anything like that, but can I ask my dad?
Of course. I only want to help. I guess you can call it my nurse's instinct.
No. I really don't think that's going to be necessary. I just need a little money to tide me over until my dad, until he's gone.
But you said that you were going to have to pay $1 million to somehow cancel out your taxes? I'm sorry, but I just don't have that kind of money.
Oh, I see. Well, okay. Maybe we should talk more about this in person. I'll see you later.
Hey there, Hilda. It's been a while.
And just when I thought I'd gotten rid of you.
Oh, well, I need to apologize to you.
Apologize to me for what?
I did it again. I stole another one.
Another one? What are you talking about? You stole something?
That's right. I stole your husband. I actually saw you two going on a date with each other about a year ago, and I remembered what you told me, that you had a boyfriend but weren't married. So anyways, I struck up a conversation with him after you'd got home for the night.
Oh, you mean you did that again?
And, well, we just hit it off.
I feel like I'm having some serious deja vu here.
I also heard that he's going to be the heir to millions any day now from his father. That's why I stole him from you. I know I messed up last time. This time it is your husband. But now all of his money is going to be mine.
I'm still not married yet, Michelle.
What? But he told me you two were married.
I actually did have a boyfriend about a year ago, but I broke up with him, and now I'm completely single.
Wait a second. You can't be serious about this. He told me that he was married to you, and that if he left you for me, that he'd have to pay when you sued him for his affair with me. And so he told me that before anything could happen and before he could get his money, he would need me to give him $500,000.
You mean that he told you all of that?
That's right. He told me everything.
And he told you about his sick dad too, I bet.
I knew it! I knew that he was your husband all along!
No, I'm afraid you're wrong about that as well. That man is my ex-boyfriend, and him and I broke up because about a year ago he started to stink of a scam.
A scam? scam? What do you mean? I don't understand.
He told me about how he was so close to inheriting his father's business and wealth and assets and everything. He even promised me an amazing condo. He said that it'd only be a matter of time, 6 months at the most. But for some reason or another, he just needed to borrow $1 million from me. He told me that he couldn't go to his parents and they didn't have the money for him, and that he would need the money to avoid paying taxes on his inheritance. But when I asked him about his sick dad, he couldn't even tell me what it was that his dad was sick with. And when I asked him about the condo, he couldn't give me an address either. And he still couldn't give me a good reason for what it was that he needed so much money from me for. I started to get really suspicious, and so I decided to break things off with him.
But you mean, the money that he asked for, the $500,000 to break up with, was... But he told me that he was going to pay me back for all of that and more as soon as he got his dad's money by being free of you. Are you telling me that all of that was just a scam that he was running on me?
You didn't actually give him that much money, did you?
Of course I did. I was about to be rich. The whole reason I texted you in the first place was that I could try and rub it in your face, remember? He told me that if I gave him that money, that it would be enough to settle the lawsuit that you'd file against him.
Well, try asking Hank yourself.
Hey, Hilda. He's not picking up my calls. What am I supposed to do? Where do you think he's gone?
He's probably run far, far away with all of your money by now.
But that can't be. That wasn't just from my savings. I took out a huge loan to be able to give him all that money. He told me that he'd be able to repay me back quickly. He told me to think of it as a tiny investment for a big payout.
I mean, I guess it was a big payout for him if you think about it. This is the second time that you've done this. Whatever happened with my old boss anyways?
Well, his wife didn't want to divorce and neither did he. But she did sue us both for the affair and then I was told to never come around again.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you got the short end of the stick there.
And now you're telling me that I just had the money stolen from me again? But what about all the fancy cars that he drove? The clothes, the watch, everything. He looked totally rich.
Yeah, I mean, the more you think about it, the more it was always too good to be true.
But how could he trick me like that? I thought that we really had something. I thought that I'd finally stolen your husband away from you.
You really haven't changed at all, you know that?
But what am I supposed to do? I won't be able to pay a loan that huge. You have lots of savings, right? Lend me some money.
No, this is just ridiculous. You need to stop this and look at what you've done. I haven't stolen anything from you, and I'm not responsible for your sick bullying trip.
But please, 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 please. You have to help me.
I don't have to do anything. In fact, it sounds like you have much more serious things to be thinking about than coming to beg from me. After that, I blocked Michelle on everything. I actually heard at the class reunion where I had seen Michelle at that she borrowed money from a lot of different people. Apparently she didn't pay many of them back and she slowly lost all her friends. So I'm sure that when she had to go to the police and describe what had happened to her, that it was quite the twist of fate for her. I have no idea at all what happened to her, or if she ever got out of her jam. If she did, I only hope it was through getting back at Hank somehow. But it really is none of my business.